Okay, that's interesting. So speaking to a very mixed congregation this evening, for those who have watched it, that is good because in a moment I'm going to show you the trailer which actually bizarrely conveys most of the plot, which shows you the plot is quite thin. However, it is deliberately a very deep film. As I say, we're going to be looking at feminism, that's quite a big thing, identity, which is an absolutely huge thing, and death, which is probably the biggest of the three. And I think all three are huge themes in this film, Barbie. But maybe you say to me, no, Tim, you're overthinking it. It's just a film about a plastic doll. We could never spend an entire evening thinking philosophically and theologically about these things. But I want to say to you that it's a story, and humans need stories. And the most kind of common way that we consume our stories today is through TV and film. And so we need to pay very careful attention to the stories that our culture is telling us, or are telling one another, because that is how we work out what people's values are. It was how we work out what people's view of the world is. And actually, one of the reasons that our world has moved on so quickly in the last 50 to 70 years is that we no longer have agreed stories in our culture. That is, we don't have myths that we agree on, that we stand on, and therefore we can see the world the same. So if we feel a bit dislocated in our culture as Christians, it's all the more important that we really pay careful attention to the stories that everyone else is taking in and try and understand what it is that they're saying. And that's why I think it's important to look really closely occasionally, for a bit of fun, but also for a serious reason, at films like Barbie. If you still don't believe me that Barbie is a deep film, listen to this. The film is directed by Greta Gerwig. Gerwig is, I'm not a film buff, but she is known for art house films about women. She is a feminist, and I'm told, I found out researching for this, that when she gave the pitch to Margot Robbie, who I think is the producer and the lead actor, she gave a pitch to be the director of this film. And in the pitch for her film, she read a poem that she had written loosely based on the Apostles' Creed. She also stated explicitly that the version of this film is meant to be the flip side of the Genesis creation myth. Really interesting. That was Greta Gerwig's stated aim. So this is not meant to be just a superficial pink film, it's a deep film. I told you it was based on the Apostles' Creed, her pitch. Can we watch the first little clip, the next one? This is really interesting. So this is clips from the film, and this is someone reminding us of what the Apostles' Creed says. Okay. If you'd seen the film, that might make a little bit more sense. I found that really interesting as a clip that's kind of putting the words of the Apostles' Creed, and it's only little hints, and it's not meant to be mapped carefully, but it shows you that this is a deep film. Can we now watch, for those particularly who haven't yet seen the film, the trailer, which is, if you do 2 more clicks on, should play. So this basically tells you the plot. Okay, so that gives you a little flavour of it if you've not seen it. Genuinely, I watched this film. I was dragged along by my 3 teenage daughters and wife, and I was blown away by it because you think it's going to be frothy, and it is frothy, but it's also profound.